Welcome to the webinar. This is Melody Horde, and I am going to be your host. I am filling in for Paul Maltmus. I have worked here at Hallelujah Diet over 10 years, and I am thrilled to be with you all tonight to learn about immunity and the liver. I will introduce our speaker shortly. May we begin in prayer tonight. Dear Lord, you made us so wonderfully complex. We thank you for life. We praise your brilliance. Many of us have struggles. We cry out that you will show us how best to take care of these earthly bodies, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And then, Lord, will you supply the discipline we need? Will you supply the funds to help us get well and stay well? We pray for every single word that comes out of our speaker's mouth tonight. Thank you for caring about us in every way. In Jesus' name, amen. So, as we go along tonight, if you have questions during the webinar, please type them. There's a place to the left underneath the picture of our speaker there, of Jill, and we're going to try to get to those questions at some point. They may be covered as the webinar progresses. Our speaker tonight is Jill Bucaro. She is a board-certified doctor of natural medicine through the American Naturopathic Medical Certification Board. She is an educator with a company called Bioray, where she helps to educate healthcare practitioners on the use of those Bioray products with their patients and clients. So, Jill, we are all ears. Teach us about our livers.
Thank you so much, Melody. What a wonderful introduction. I'm thrilled to be here. So we are going to talk about immunity and the liver connection. Like Melody said, my name is Jill Bucaro. Let's see what we're going to talk about. So I want to introduce you to Bioray briefly, the company, so you know who we are and what we do. Then we're going to dive right into the immune system, talking about immune modulation, some factors that can lead to a compromised immune system. Then we'll talk about the role of the liver in the immune support, what a congested liver might look like, and then we're going to talk about solutions, including a product called Liver Life. So we'll go through the features and benefits, and then a key ingredient breakdown. So without further ado, who we are. This is Stephanie Ray. She's our CEO, founder, and formulator of Bioray. She started Bioray with her former husband, Dr. Timothy Ray, over 30 years ago. And they started with several clinics in the Los Angeles and Santa Monica area. And as they were seeing patients over the years and trying to address symptoms and issues and challenges, they found that they had the best success when they first or even simultaneously addressed the terrain of the body. So when the organs and organ systems were in balance, it really enhanced the other therapies and protocols that they were using, and they saw great results. So this is how Bioray products came to be. They came out of clinic, they were used and tested on thousands of patients and curated and customized and tweaked to become the products they are today. All Bioray products are liquid tinctures made up of adaptogenic herbs and mushrooms, which we'll get into a little bit more later, and are intended to do just that, support the body's organs and organ systems by bringing them into balance. So here's a few more pieces of information about Bioray's formulas. As I mentioned, they're doctor formulated. Stephanie is a board certified naturopath. They're effective for the whole family. So we have products that are appropriate for infants, for children, for teens, for adults. They can be used long-term. They're safe to use daily, or you can use them as needed. You can use them alone, or you can combine them as needed based on what you're trying to address. They're safe to use with other supplements. So if you're taking supplements, it's okay to add Bioray products right on in, Or if you're taking Western medication and you want to support the body while you're going through that process, that's totally fine. And the results are noticeable quickly. So we've had many, many reports of results and improvements noticed after just the second intake. With regards to Bioware Quality, these are the product attributes that you can count on from us. So the liquid herbal tinctures are made with grain-neutral spirits. This is applicable to the professional line of products. And the Liver Life product that I'm going to talk about in a little bit is part of our professional line of products. We also do have products that are based in glycerin, but either glycerin or alcohol, they're easy to administer. So being liquid tinctures, they're easy to put in water, in juice, in a smoothie, and you can combine them easily. This is especially great for kiddos, and they can take them at one time. They're safe and beneficial for children and adults. All of our products are gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and most of them are vegan. They're 100% natural and processed by the body as a food. So because they're made up of mushrooms and plants and herbs, the body knows exactly what to do with them and the best way to extract the benefits. They're made with organic and wild-crafted herbs, so we're getting those toxic pesticides out of our products. The formulas are based on traditional Chinese herbalism, but backed by science. So we do have clinical publications, we do intervention studies, case studies, and many of those are available on our website on bioray.com under the resources section. So what I love about these studies is that it gives us the confidence to say what our products do, they actually do. And then finally, all products are manufactured in a CGMP, which is a good manufacturing practice facility, kosher, organic certified, and FDA registered facility. In addition, all of our products are tested by a third party for microbiology, heavy metals, and toxins. And these certifications can be found on each product page on bioray.com by lot number. So you find the product that you want or that you've purchased, you search for the quality assurance, and you can know exactly what is or what is not in your product. So let's move on to the immune system. So I do want to get to immune modulation, but I want to start with just the immune system in general. So the immune system, and there's been a lot of talk about the immune system this year, and that's okay. I think it's always good to take care of your immune system at all times so that when we're faced with an illness or something like 2020, we can feel confident that we're as prepared as possible. But the immune system is a complex network of cells, tissues, organs, and the substances that they make that defend the body against a variety of invaders. And these invaders can range from bacteria and viruses to toxins and chemicals. So what is immune modulation? So the definition is to either decrease or increase the immune system to optimal levels of functioning. And I want to make a note here and differentiate between modulation and boosting. So we've heard a lot about immune boosting this year as well. Boost your immune system, how to boost your immune system. And boosting your immune system is great if your immune system needs boosting, right? If it's underactive, then it's okay to boost. But if your immune system is already overactive or hyperactive, such as with autoimmune issues, then boosting it wouldn't be a good idea. You're just taking something that's in high gear and putting it in higher gear. So that's not what we want to do. Modulating is really kind of like balancing. It's the right response at the right time. How do we do that? How do we modulate? So it's two steps. One is that we remove the excess and we replenish deficiencies. So removing excess is accomplished by gentle detoxification, and we do this every day. Detoxifying is a natural part of our body's normal function. Every day we naturally detox by sweating, by urinating, by having bowel movements, by exhaling, and these processes are essential to the function of healthy organs and organ systems. On the other hand, we have replenishing deficiencies. And again, many of us do this every day. We take in nourishing, nutrient-dense foods, herbs, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, phytonutrients, anything that's giving the body energy. So basically, we want the bad stuff out and we want the good stuff in. And these processes allow the whole body to be in balance. Unfortunately, there are a lot of things that can get in the way of our immune system working optimally. So here's some contributing factors, and compromised immune system is another term that we might have heard more of this year than ever before. We've heard immunocompromised, and perhaps those people don't fare as well when faced with an illness or exposure. So how do we get these compromised immune systems, or how do we get immune systems that aren't working optimally? So fast food diet, or a standard American diet that's rich in processed foods, is one. Artificial dyes and chemicals, excessive refined sugars. Again, these sugars find their way into processed foods pretty often. Polluted air and water, chemicals in our household products like cleaning supplies, in our personal care products like perfumes and deodorants, in pesticides, which are sprayed, unfortunately, on all conventionally grown crops, fertilizers, unhealthy thoughts. So not only is it what we're exposed to physically, but if we're stressed, if we're thinking negative thoughts, that can negatively impact our immune system. And lack of movement. We're very good at being sedentary these days, and that is no good for the immune system. So as you look at this list, you can see much of this we come into contact with every day, or it's easy to see where we could come into contact with this every day. You don't have to work at a chemical plant or an oil refinery to be exposed to toxins on a regular basis. And what does that mean? So what does this all mean that we're being exposed to these factors? So now it's harder for our body to keep up with the removing excess toxins that we just talked about, because they're coming in faster than they are leaving. So they're coming in faster than our body is able to process and will make them leave the body. So then this excess starts to impact, among other things, the immune system. In addition, if we are taking in those processed foods, those refined foods, those nutrient deficient foods, we're also not replenishing the deficiencies. So we've put both out of balance. We're not getting rid of the excess, and we're not replenishing. Now I want to go into the role of the liver and how it plays into the immune support and the immune system. So I want to start by saying the liver is the ultimate multitasking organ. It is involved in over 500 vital functions in the body. In ancient Chinese medicine, it's said that the physician who knows how to harmonize the liver knows how to treat the 100 diseases. So it is integral to so many processes and so many functions in our body. Just a few of the key functions that the liver is involved in. It filters blood coming from the digestive tract. This is important, and we're going to talk about that more in a minute. It produces bile. It metabolizes proteins. It helps to spread nutrients throughout the body. It helps keep the amount of nutrients in the blood supply at optimal levels. It eliminates toxic waste. It breaks down and removes excess hormones. It stores select vitamins and minerals for when they're needed. It manages the conversion of fats from your diet. It manufactures cholesterol. It turns carbohydrates into glucose, and on and on and on. And all of that to say we need to give our liver some love and support. Now, how the role of the liver is involved in immune support is what I have on the slide here. It's well positioned to detect pathogens entering the body via the gut. It contains the largest collection of phagocytic cells in the body, which allows it to mount a rapid and robust immune response. And as I just mentioned a minute ago, it processes toxins like chemicals, environmental toxins, heavy metals out of the body via the bowels. So let's take that and see what that looks like in real life. So we're going to take these four bullet points and see what happens when we look at what happens in the body. So when you take in a potentially toxic substance, you ingest something like alcohol or pharmaceuticals or pesticides or environmental toxins. These harmful substances are sent to the liver via the portal vein. So the portal vein goes from the gut to the liver. Then the specialized cells called phagocytes in the liver engulf and ingest the harmful substances. Then it sends them out through the bowels. So side note, but also important, move your bowels every day. It's one of the key ways that the body rids itself of waste products. So really important to make sure that our bowels are moving as we talk about detoxing in our immune response. Because these cells, the phagocytic cells, are already in the liver, this response can be fast. The cells aren't in another part of the body. They don't have to travel. They're there, and they can take action quickly. So because the liver contains the largest collection of these cells in the body, it's an important barrier between us and the outside world, right? So we take in the outside world, and our body, namely the gut and the liver, need to decide good, bad, yes, no, safe, harmful. Onto that, what's really interesting to note is that as the portal blood also transports a large number of foreign but harmless molecules, the liver's default immune status is actually anti-inflammatory or immunotolerant. So meaning, you know what, it's good, everything's good, come on in. However, under the appropriate conditions, and again, we're talking about when something harmful enters the scene, the liver is able to initiate that immune response. This balance between immunity and tolerance is a key component to liver function. It's the right response at the right time. So we go back to modulation, right response, right time. But remember those contributing factors that we just talked about. So the ones right here, the fast food diet, the chemicals, the pesticides. If they're compromising the immune system, they're compromising the liver as well, because the liver is part of our immune response. So when the liver is overwhelmed or congested, meaning it can't keep up with the amount of toxins coming into the body, this is where things back up. So because the liver has such a diverse job description, it can be challenging to understand how we might feel or what it would look like if our liver was congested or overwhelmed. So here are some key indications that the liver needs some support. If you feel tired in the morning, if you have difficulty losing or gaining weight, if you have frequent head pain, if you notice intolerance to food, like I used to be able to have eggs and now I can't. Mood fluctuations, specifically things like irritation, grumpiness, frustration. Chemical sensitivities. So if you get in that, if you smell that new car smell, or you walk by the perfume counter and it's just overwhelming to you, that's a chemical sensitivity. Skin irritations. This is a big one for the liver. This is a big one for the liver. The liver, being a detox organ, is going to try to detox as much as it can, as efficiently as it can, all the time. When the liver gets backed up or congested or overwhelmed, it still wants to rid the body of toxins, so it's going to look to its detox partners within the body. The skin happens to be a detox organ, right? So we mentioned that we sweat as one of the ways to remove excess or remove toxins. So the liver is kind of handing off the toxins to the skin. Here, skin, you get rid of these because I'm too busy, I'm too overwhelmed. So when we see those skin irritations popping through, it's a good idea to take a look at the liver. Trouble sleeping is another sign of liver congestion, specifically if you wake up between 1 and 3 a.m. So if you're familiar with the 24-hour qi cycle, and qi is spelled Q-I, or you're welcome to look it up, this is where the 24 hours in a day are divided into 2-hour increments, and each organ gets 2 hours in the spotlight. Throughout that 24 hours, every organ system has their time to shine. Well, the liver's time to shine is between 1 and 3 a.m. So if you find yourself waking up between 1 and 3 a.m., it's a good idea to address the liver. So we have the signs of liver congestion. We talked about factors that might compromise our immune system. What can we do? So in TCM, or really holistic health in general, we always begin in a place of balance. So eating organic, nourishing foods, moving the body until a sweat begins, drinking appropriate amounts of clean water, getting quality sleep, delving into some sort of spiritual practice. These are things we can do every day to keep the liver, the immune system, and our whole body and mind in balance. In addition, we can look to herbal supplements for additional support. So this is Liver Life. This is our liver support formula, and as I mentioned before, it's part of our professional line of products. It comes in a 2-ounce and 4-ounce, and I want to go over the benefits and the features as well as some of the key ingredients and how this nourishes and supports the liver. And you'll notice as we go over the benefits here, they're really solving the problems that we talked about as signs of liver congestion. So Liver Life can help balance healthy body weight. It can promote restful sleep and balanced hormones. It can reduce skin irritations, head pain, and sensory issues. The ingredients are food for the liver, which we're going to talk about in more detail in just a moment. It improves detox and nutrient absorption, and those two go hand in hand. So when we take in nutrient-dense food, there are homes or parking spaces, if you like to think about it, where the nutrients can settle in or park. If we're free of toxins, our nutrients are free to do that. If we have toxins in our body, if you think, again, like a parking lot, it's like the toxins took all of the parking spots. And so even if you're eating nutrient-dense food, those nutrients are kind of driving around the parking lot. There's no parking spaces. So they're like, well, I guess we'll just come back later, and they leave the body. So this is important just to realize that if you have toxins in the body and you're eating nutrient-dense food, you may just not be reaping all the benefits from that food. So improving detox and improving nutrient absorption go hand in hand. If we're going to take the time to purchase and create and eat high-quality ingredients, we should darn well get the benefits out of them. In addition, Liver Life can help restore healthy pH balance. So the liver, part of its responsibility is to balance the pH of the body. It does this by ridding the body of acidic waste. So there's all sorts of processes in the body that result in acidic waste, and the liver processes that and sends it out through either the bowels or the urine. When the liver is overwhelmed, it's not going to be able to process as many toxins, including this acidic waste, which can then back up, and it can affect the pH of the body. One way that you can test to see how your liver is doing in this area is to test your morning urine for pH. So the very first urine in the morning when you wake up, if you test the pH, it should be quite acidic. It should be between 5.5 and 6.2. And again, neutral is at 7, acidic at 0, and alkaline at 14 on the pH scale. So you want something between 5.5 and 6.2. This is going to indicate that your liver is working to rid your body of that acidic waste. Your urine then will get and become more alkaline as the day goes on, and that's okay. But if that first morning urine is more alkaline than 5.5 or 6.2, then we can kind of make the assumption that the liver might be struggling to rid all of that, the body of that acidic waste. Okay, so let's hop into those ingredients. And I want to start, so these ingredients are wonderful, they're amazing, and they're all adaptogenic. And the reason I want to talk about that is because adaptogenic herbs and mushrooms are so wonderful in helping to modulate. So when we talk about modulating our immune system, right, again, having the right response at the right time, it makes sense to look at adaptogens for support. Adaptogens offer support by promoting a balanced response to physical or emotional stress. So according to the primary definition of adaptogens, they must meet 3 criteria. First, adaptogens must be nonspecific and must assist the human body in resisting a wide range of adverse conditions. So they can't just zero in on one thing. They need to help everything or a variety of things in the body. Second, adaptogens must maintain homeostasis in humans, right? And that's what we're talking about, balance, modulation, homeostasis. And third, adaptogens must not harm the normal functions of the human body. So this is unlike pharmaceuticals, which typically will help in one area but can have multiple negative side effects in other areas of the body. And this is one of the reasons that it's that I mentioned taking Bioray products with other supplements is okay, because they're not going to cause any harm. They're going to help just balance and modulate and maintain. So let's go through these key ingredients that are included in Liver Life. So first is red root. So red root's a mainstay in traditional Chinese medicine because it has antioxidant properties, and it also functions to help promote healthy cellular growth. It's not just the liver, but all of our body is constantly regenerating. So if we're going to grow new cells, it would be wonderful if they were healthy. It's also widely believed to widen blood vessels, supporting healthy blood circulation. If the blood cannot get to and through the liver can't process anything that's coming to it or through it. So circulation is really helpful to make sure that any toxins, any invaders from any part of the body they're making their way to and through the liver. Agaricus blazei. So this is a mushroom. It's known to be one of the richest sources in the world of beta-glucans. So beta-glucans are a food for the liver, and they've been shown to increase liver cell production in studies. So this is a great liver support food. Reishi mushroom is an immune modulator itself. It contains ganoderic acids that help improve oxygen utilization and liver function. In addition, they're also potent antioxidant-free radical scavengers. Maitake, another mushroom. It's an adaptogen and an immunity tonic for the body, supporting and maintaining healthy liver function. And finally, turkey tail or Coriolis mushroom. It's a potent immune modulator with added benefits that include liver and energy support. So those are the key ingredients in Liver Life. Again, it's a combination. All of the Bioray products are a combination of products: herbs, medicinal mushrooms, plants, chlorella. And the really great thing is to see what the synergy of a formula will do as opposed to each of these individual products. So all of these ingredients are wonderful on their own, but when you put them together, it really makes something special. And finally, what are people saying about Liver Life? So these are real customers, real reviews. You can see these on bioray.com. And what I just wanted to show you is how they really connect to what we were talking about with regards to what liver congestion might look like, or even what some of, which would lead to what compromised immune system might look like. So this is from one of our practitioners. I've had very positive feedback from my clients regarding Liver Life. I've seen a noticeable decrease in the level of toxic metals on the hair tissue analysis after consistent use. So again, if we let the liver do its job, it's going to get rid of those toxins and chemicals that are in our body. I've noticed less skin irritations, less bowel issues, and feeling more balanced. Perfect. This product has really been helping me with my headaches. That makes them go away quickly. I had a horrible skin irritation. Again, back to the skin, itch and body heat. After taking 2 full droppers twice daily for a couple of days, my skin issues and body heat went away instantly. My brother-in-law had aggressive liver issues. I can't even tell you how much he's improved. But my sister said the doctor told him not to stop giving it to him. And then just some of the titles like absolutely miraculous, life changer, I have increased energy and am more alert. These are the things that you can expect from supporting the liver with a product like Liver Life. And again, back to that, what a compromised liver might look like. It really does vary depending on, because the liver does so many jobs, that it's interesting to see how people feel the benefits of taking something like Liver Life. But I wanted to just share with you what other people are saying and what we hear all the time, as practitioners and our customers call in. And with that, I just really wanted to say that, at Bioray, we're always happy to assist and answer questions. We have product specialists available by phone, by chat, by email. So however you like to communicate, we will communicate like that. And I'm happy to answer questions that came in while I was talking.
Well, we do have a few questions. Thank you so much. What a marvelous job you did. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
When you said, sometimes you take 2 droppers full and you can already feel the difference. That's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. It's going to depend on where the person is to begin with. And I will go back to, I think I mentioned moving the bowels. That's really going to have an impact as well. So making sure that you're well hydrated, making sure that you're moving the bowels so that when the liver does its job of processing the toxins, they have a way to leave the body. But yes, people can feel the difference pretty quickly.
But isn't this a product that you can just use every day? I mean, for the rest of your life, pretty much?
You can use it daily, yes. And so when you start to use it daily, it's totally safe. Again, because of the adaptogenic mushrooms and herbs, they're really just going to help modulate and balance. If you're a little high, if you're a little low, if the liver's a little slow, a little fast, it's really just going to help it work optimally. But yes, absolutely safe to use daily. And unfortunately, it's more of a need to take some liver support daily than it ever has been because of that list of those factors that I mentioned, what we're exposed to on a daily basis. Our liver is working its butt off.
You are so right. When you go out into the general public, you are just bombarded with this smell, that smell, sanitizer smells, parfum smells. It's just, you're just surrounded by chemicals everywhere you go. Okay.
Indeed.
I'm going to, I know. Okay, so I'm also going to read some of these questions. It says, what foods are the best for keeping our liver healthy and which are the worst? That's a great question. Something like, is coffee good? What is good?
That is a good question. So the best foods are going to be cruciferous vegetables are great. Greens are great. Lemon is great. So those fruits and veggies, I kind of think of them like, the kale, like scrubbers. So those are really great and detoxifying for the liver. What's worse is going to be refined sugar, things with pesticides. So, unfortunately, like if you're, having that broccoli or you're having that kale and it's sprayed with pesticides, it's kind of like, evening out. It's a little bit of good, it's a little bit of bad. But anything that you can think of like toxic, so processed foods with like chemicals, artificial dyes, artificial colors, flavors, things like that, those refined foods are not friendly for the liver.
Sounds good to me. Okay, this is what causes allergies when you have liver issues? What causes the allergies to happen? And I don't know if this person is talking about skin or respiratory.
So I'll talk about sensitivities in general, and hopefully that'll answer the question. So when the liver, as part of the job of the liver is to detox and get the all sorts of things out of the body, part of it is histamines, part of it is toxins, part of it is the chemicals that come along with our food and things like that. When the liver is congested, those items, whatever they are, any kind of invaders, are free to roam around the body. So we become intolerant because our body is kind of clogged or backed up with all of these toxins, including histamines. So any of the excesses that the liver is not able to process can appear as sensitivities. And that could be, for sensitivities to food or sensitivities to the environment. Because, normally a healthy liver, if we were in a natural environment, would be able to process the toxins out and they wouldn't be circulating in your body. So it's when it starts to back up that it becomes a problem because they're just kind of hanging out and they really shouldn't be there.
Right. Okay, here's another question talking about fatty liver. That seems to be something that is very prolific this day and age. And so do you have recommendations for people with the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease?
So as a dietary supplement company, we can't make product recommendations based on a medical diagnosis, but I will say to support the Liver Life product would be amazing. Those medicinal mushrooms, adaptogenic herbs, lemon, if you tolerate that and that, it goes well with your diet, plenty of water, and those fruits and vegetables, like I mentioned, those greens and things like that, those are great to keep in mind. But as far as the disease, unfortunately, we can't make recommendations based on a diagnosis. So those are just for general, like liver support.
Okay. Another question. Could you say a bit more about waking up between 1 and 3 a.m.? If one wakes up to go to the bathroom during that time frame, is that an indication of liver congestion?
It could be. It's one thing to explore. So if you're waking up to go to the bathroom, it could be that you're drinking before bed. I mean, there are other things that are going to play into it. But if you're waking consistently between that 1 and 3 a.m., it's just a good indication to look, at the liver to see if there's some support. I mean, you could have, a neighbor's dog that barks every night at 2 a.m. So there's definitely other things that play into it. But if you're waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. for whatever reason, it's just good to look at that. And then you would want to triangulate that with other things like, are you experiencing frustration? Are you experiencing any of those other signs of liver congestion, that I had mentioned?
Okay. All right. Here's another question. If Liver Life removes the toxins, do we need to also take glutathione to help with toxins?
It's not necessary to take glutathione with the products, but there's no contraindication. So you certainly could take that. That's no problem at all.
Right. I think also some people are very aware of what is happening within their bodies. And I think that's a good thing. Like if you take your Liver Life, you notice, ooh, I have more energy, my skin looks better. Just pay attention, I think, to what's happening. And then How You Diet has a wonderful product called a glutathione promoter with selenium, and it has all the different components that help make the glutathione. And if you're feeling better with the products, then hey, my body's liking this. Just pay attention.
Absolutely. Exactly. And I think if you are going to do anything that addresses toxins, like binding or, things like that, then it's always good to have the liver support on board first, because anything that's, it's going, your binder is going to bind to or find or search out is going to go through the liver to process. So I would just say, if you want to do something else to detox, just making sure the liver is supported as well.
That's a great plan. Really is. So you can purchase the 4-ounce bottle of Liver Life from Hallelujah Diet. You can do that online, or you can call into the call center. If you have any questions, you can email Hallelujah Diet. If we don't know all the answers, we'll be happy to reach out to Jill or somebody at Bioray and find out the question, as best we can. Of course, we don't diagnose, like you were saying, but we can find out some good answers for you. And if you want to give it a try, sounds like a great product with all those wonderful ingredients in there. So thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. We really appreciate it. Jill, do you have any closing comments?
I just wanted to say thanks for inviting me to speak, and, to echo what you said, please reach out with any questions. Like I mentioned, we have product specialists available, and that is why we're there, is to talk to you about the products. If you've purchased them, if you've not purchased them, we're happy to answer any questions. So please feel free to reach out, because we want you to have the best experience with, the products.
Absolutely. And we care about our customers, and we want them to be healthy. It's very important to us, and we feel for every person who's going through anything. And we just want to be here and listen and give you the most educated answers based on science that we possibly can. So, folks, let's all stay in shape this holiday season. Let's do what it takes so that we can feel phenomenal, we can look great, and we can just be an example of what happens when you give this miraculous self-healing body of ours what it needs, the nourishment it needs, and the ability for it to detoxify and keeping all those toxins out to the best of our abilities. So good night and thank you. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.